Greetings, my name is Chamomile, and this is an exploration of the entire galaxy sector by sector. Today, we're talking about miscellaneous planets in Second Green Mantle across the colonies and Inner Rim. Some of these planets have independent Senate representation, and some of them just don't have good records as to which sector they're in. Let's start by getting Exodine out of the way, a Colonies planet notable only as the alleged homeworld of the six-armed, six-legged Exodinians. I'd love to see a picture of these guys, but there don't seem to be any. Frostwithe is an agri-world focused on ranching whose rolling plains have a perennial bandit problem, and local bantha herders have to guard their herds from both bantha rustlers and plains panthers. It's not super historically significant, but man, that's cool. There's a bunch of other major colony worlds where basically nothing ever happens, which are less cool. Herzab is an agri-world facing farm devastation from giant arthropods called Jevisex. Coensair is a major grand colony with lots of industry in the highlands and seaside tourist towns near the coasts. Adipap and Aquilae are both major Duros colonies, and Vandervalis is headquarters of Vandervalis Systems, a computer conglomerate you might have heard of. Bellazura used to be one of those quiet colony worlds, a resort planet that had long declined to exploit its mineral resources to focus on tourism and hospitality instead, thus preserving the beauty of the planet for its inhabitants. The Empire wasn't concerned with beauty so much, and strip-mined the whole planet. Alon is a planet in the Inner Rim home to the Alon Nova Guard, one of many military traditions claiming to be comparable to the Mandalorians. The Alon are allegedly a humanoid alien species, but I can't find a single picture of them out of their armor to confirm that. There's enough on record about them that I'd be surprised if they wound up being humans reported on by a confused spacer, because it'd have to be a lot of confused spacers, and they're from the Inner Rim, which is relatively well documented, but this kind of thing happens to the Chalactans, humans who were mistaken by aliens at one point, so who knows. The Alon Nova Guard supported the Empire, but the Empire did not return the love, considering them a potential threat to Imperial rule, and sending the Nova Guard on suicide missions to winnow down their numbers. Byblos and Lorinar are Corellian colony worlds that eventually became independent worlds with separate Senate representation. Early on, the influence of the Republic on member worlds was pretty weak, so powerful planets like Corellia would run big sectors with tons of major worlds in order to maintain direct control over lots of planets. But by the Old Republic era, the Senate was a pretty powerful institution, and so influential worlds like Corellia started releasing colonies so that they could get friendly planets with a similar culture into the Senate. Byblos and Lorinar are both major shipyards, not quite on the level of Kuat, but closer than you'd think for a planet you've probably never heard of. Byblos in particular is in the running for being the single most prosperous and influential planet in the entire Colonies rim, which is only one rim out from the core, so that's a pretty big deal. I say in the running, but I honestly can't think of a single other Colonies planet that particularly competes, but maybe I'll find one as I get deeper into this project. And in fairness, Byblos used to have competition from some Neimoidian worlds, but they haven't been doing so good since the Clone Wars. Byblos and Lorinar both became Imperial Fortress worlds guarding the trailing flank of the core after the Battle of Endor, during the Rebel push core wars from the trailing rim. There were only a handful of skirmishes here, including a raid by Rogue Squadron on the Jade Moon of Lorinar, and rumor is that the Katarn commandos raided the planet Baudolays behind the Lorinar line of fortress worlds, but the decisive battle of the campaign and the war wound up being on the far side of the core at Jakku, so Byblos and Lorinar peacefully joined the New Republic after it was declared on Coruscant, along with most of the rest of Green Mantle.